This next story is from David of Atlanta, Georgia. The year is 1999, and these are his tales. I can't believe I did something so dumb. I got my side girl pregnant, and I'm freshly married. My wife is gonna kill me, and I don't know what to do. I tried talking her down to tell her this ain't right for us to do this. This child is gonna grow up in between two households. She was under the imagination that I would leave my wife to be with her just because she was pregnant. I told her I didn't love her like that. I told her what me and her shared was just an intimate moment. I know it was wrong, but we both got caught up in that. She refused to hear anything I had to say. I gave her the money for the abortion, and I turned my back, thinking that the whole ordeal was over. About 8 months later, I saw her again. This time she had a huge baby bump. She had this glow about herself with this big old smile. She said, "Baby, soon you'll be coming back to me. Soon we're gonna be a family." I thought in my mind, I said, yo, she must be crazy or something. I'm not leaving my wife for you. And I told her that. We got in this big, huge, heated argument. She was crying and throwing stuff at me. I just told her, I said, "I'm sorry I don't love you like that." Later on that night, a mutual friend called me and told me, she committed suicide while she was pregnant with the baby. I felt sick. I couldn't believe I caused this. I ended this woman's life because of my games. Mentally, I was just down, and I didn't want my wife to find out. So I just kept it to myself. But the more and more I kept it to myself, the more and more I started to feel like I was being watched, like I was being haunted by something. I know it sounds crazy, but truly I believe that she's here, that she's always watching me. Every time I'm walking around my apartment, I'm just sitting there thinking about her and that baby, ignoring my wife, ignoring what I'm supposed to be doing, because that's all I could think about. One night I was sitting there watching TV by myself, and it was really, really dark and really, really cold in the room. I started hearing the sounds of a baby cry. Really, I just thought maybe I was just tripping. But the more and more I heard it, it got louder and louder. Like to the point to where it wouldn't even let me sleep anymore. I got up and I started looking around the house like, where is this coming from? Maybe it was some old baby monitor that was laying around that I didn't even know about. But I didn't have any kids. So the first thing I thought about was her. I said, she must be here. So I walked around the house some more, and sure enough, I saw a woman, a shadow of a woman, standing in the darkness. And the baby cries got louder and louder. I put my hands over my ears, and I tried to walk away from it, thinking it's all in my head. This can't be real. She dead. She killed herself. The baby's dead. But the more and more, it just got worse and worse. The cries seemed to go on non-stop. Every day I was hearing this baby crying. I didn't know what to do because when I asked my wife about it, she said she didn't know what I was talking about. She couldn't hear no cries. So I'm the only one that's hearing this. It was bugging me out. Finally, one night, my wife was gone and I was in the bed sleeping. I started hearing these knocks. And I woke up and then I went to the front door, look out the peephole because I don't know who would be coming over my house unannounced. So I looked through the peephole, I didn't see anybody. I started to walk back to the bedroom, then I heard the knocks again. So I went to the front door to see who it was. Once again, I saw nobody through the peephole. I opened the door, something that I normally wouldn't do, but I did it anyway. And I looked, and then that's when I saw her. I saw my ex-girl's, my side piece's sister. She was standing right there speaking in some different language. She had wrote some crazy voodoo symbol stuff on my front door. I started going off on her. We going back and forth. I didn't understand nothing she was saying until finally she said, "You won't make it past the night." My sister will have justice. And before I could even respond, she just turned away and walked away. I'm looking at this crap she done put on my door. So, of course, before my wife got home tomorrow, I wanted to make sure that I cleaned this stuff up, so I start cleaning the door. Next thing you know, I start smelling this crazy smell, almost like rotting meat. It was moving around everywhere. Like every time I thought it was at one spot, it moved. I didn't know what it was. After cleaning the door off, I just wanted to go back to bed at this point. But as soon as I got into bed, it got ice cold. So cold that I could see my breath. Next thing you know, I start seeing that image of that woman again in the darkness. I stood up from my bed and I asked, "Who are you?" They didn't respond. I quickly cut on the lights, but then she was gone again. But the baby cries started to come back louder and louder. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where it was coming from. So I left the apartment. I said, whatever spooky voodoo stuff she got going on up in here, I'm not gonna be here for it. So I left. And then that's when all the drama started when I left that apartment. I started to walk down the hall to exit. But once again, I smelt that rotting meat smell. As I got closer to the door, I saw this demonic looking figure. This thing was huge, with a crazy face, fangs almost. It's hard to describe. I was just in instant fear. I turned away and ran back to the apartment, locking the door. I had a loaded 9mm that I had in the house, so I grabbed that. I tried to defend myself on whatever that was. It sounded like it was stomping, moving closer and closer towards my door, and then finally, it stopped. And I heard this whisper, "You know what you did." I was stuck after hearing that whisper. The baby cries started again, louder and louder. I kept my gun aimed towards the door until I saw something move out my peripheral vision on my right-hand side. I quickly turned and fired, but then nobody was there. The cries continued. I just started firing rounds off into the door. And finally, I heard a big thud. I was kind of relieved because I figured that whatever it was, I just killed it. So I slowly eased towards the door to open it. And when I opened the door, I saw my neighbors all staring out, looking at me. I looked on the ground and the first thing I saw was my wife. She was coming in early from her flight and I killed her. She was laying there bleeding, blood everywhere. I quickly dropped to the ground, trying to console her, trying to tell her I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. In the middle of me grieving, I looked up and I saw her. I saw my side girl standing there smiling, holding the baby till she walked off. I don't have to tell you what happened next. Of course, I ended up going to jail for the rest of my life for murder. But every day that I've been in here, I see her watching me, smiling, still hearing those baby cries.